The desert wind carried dust and the distant echo of gunfire as Marcus wiped sweat from his brow. 3 years of military service, 2 deployments, and countless hours on the range had taught him one thing: never underestimate anyone. But as he watched the new recruit struggle with her standard rifle during morning drills, he couldn't help but think she needed guidance. Sarah Chun stood barely 5 feet 4 inches tall, her frame seemingly too small for the heavy gear strapped across her shoulders. The other soldiers whispered behind her back, questioning whether she belonged in their elite unit. Marcus had heard it all before: the doubts, the assumptions, the casual dismissals that followed female soldiers everywhere they went. What none of them knew, including Marcus, was that Sarah had already proven herself in ways they couldn't imagine. The sniper badge hidden in her duffel bag told a story of precision, patience, and deadly accuracy that would soon shock everyone around her. Sometimes the most dangerous people are those who choose to remain invisible, letting others underestimate them until the moment truth reveals itself. This is the story of how one gesture, a well-meaning offer of a Barrett .50 caliber rifle, became the catalyst for a revelation that would forever change how an entire unit viewed capability, assumption, and respect. The transport truck rumbled to a stop outside Camp Phoenix, its engine coughing black smoke into the Afghan morning air. Sarah Chun gathered her gear and stepped down onto the dusty ground, squinting against the harsh sunlight that seemed to bleach everything white. Around her, seasoned soldiers moved with practiced efficiency, their movements speaking of months or years in this unforgiving landscape. She had volunteered for this assignment, knowing full well what awaited her. The 3rd Battalion was known for its tough standards and tougher soldiers. They specialized in long-range reconnaissance and elimination of high-value targets, work that required absolute precision and unwavering nerves. Sarah knew she possessed both qualities, but she also understood that proving it would be an entirely different challenge. The base buzzed with activity as helicopters thundered overhead and convoys prepared for departure. Sarah shouldered her duffel bag and made her way toward the administration building, following the hand-drawn map she had been given. Along the way, curious eyes followed her progress. She heard the whispered conversations that always seemed to trail behind her wherever she went in the military. Another one trying to prove a point, someone muttered from behind a stack of supply crates. "Give her a week," another voice replied with a chuckle. Sarah kept walking, her expression neutral. She had learned long ago that responding to such comments only made things worse. Better to let her actions speak for themselves when the time came. The weight of her hidden sniper badge seemed to grow heavier in her bag with each step, a secret that she would reveal only when absolutely necessary. Staff Sergeant Williams greeted her at the administration desk, his weathered face breaking into a professional smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. He was a career soldier, the kind who had seen everything twice and trusted nothing until it proved itself worthy. Behind him hung photographs of the unit's most successful operations, each one a testament to the deadly efficiency that made the 3rd Battalion legendary. "Private Chun, welcome to Phoenix," Williams said, extending a calloused hand. "I've reviewed your file. Impressive marksmanship scores, excellent physical fitness ratings, and clean disciplinary record. You'll fit right in here, assuming you can handle the heat." Sarah shook his hand firmly. "Thank you, Staff Sergeant. I'm ready to contribute, however. The unit needs me." Williams nodded approvingly. "Good attitude. Your bunk assignment is in Building C, 3rd floor. Chow is at 1800 hours, and tomorrow you'll begin integration training with Corporal Martinez's squad. They're a solid group, but they don't suffer fools gladly." The barracks building was a converted shipping container that had been stacked and welded together to create a multi-story living space. Sarah climbed the metal stairs, her boots ringing against the grated steps, and found her assigned room. Inside, 3 other bunks occupied the cramped space, their occupants away on duties or training exercises. She unpacked her belongings methodically, placing her uniforms in the small locker and arranging her personal items on the narrow shelf above her bunk. The sniper badge remained hidden beneath other items in her bag, wrapped in a piece of cloth that had once belonged to her grandfather's military uniform. He had been a Marine sniper in Vietnam, and his stories of patience and precision had inspired Sarah to pursue the same path. That evening at dinner, Sarah sat at the edge of a long table filled with soldiers from various squads. The conversation flowed around topics she expected: complaints about the heat, speculation about upcoming missions, and good-natured arguments about sports teams back home. She listened more than she spoke, cataloging the personalities and dynamics that would shape her experience in the unit. Across the mess hall, she noticed a tall soldier with sandy brown hair who seemed to command respect from those around him. Several people sought his opinion on matters ranging from equipment maintenance to tactical approaches, and his responses demonstrated both knowledge and experience. This was clearly someone who had earned his position through competence rather than rank alone. "That's Marcus Thompson," said the soldier sitting next to Sarah, following her gaze. "Best shot in the battalion, maybe in the entire brigade. He's got more confirmed kills than anyone else here, and he saved more lives than he's taken. Good man to have on your side." Sarah nodded, filing away the information. In her experience, the soldiers who earned genuine respect from their peers were usually worth knowing. She made a mental note to observe his techniques during training exercises, curious to see how his approach compared to her own methods. The next morning began before dawn with physical training that tested every muscle group and pushed cardiovascular systems to their limits. Sarah kept pace with the group, drawing satisfied nods from the training sergeants who had clearly expected her to fall behind. The desert environment added an extra layer of difficulty to every exercise, making even simple movements feel labored and exhausting. Following PT came weapons maintenance and marksmanship practice at the base's rifle range. Sarah was issued a standard M4 carbine along with cleaning supplies and ammunition. The range consisted of targets placed at various distances, from close-quarter scenarios to long-range precision shots that challenged even experienced marksmen. Marcus Thompson was serving as one of the range supervisors that day, moving between shooting positions to offer guidance and corrections. Sarah watched him work, noting how he could identify problems in a soldier's technique with just a glance at their stance or grip. His instructions were clear and specific, focused on practical improvements rather than theoretical discussions. When Marcus reached Sarah's position, she was in the middle of a string of shots at the 300-meter target. Her breathing was controlled, her position stable, and her trigger squeeze smooth and consistent. Each round found its mark within the target's center ring, creating a tight grouping that demonstrated both accuracy and precision. Marcus studied her targets through binoculars, then looked at Sarah with genuine surprise. "Outstanding shooting, Private Chun. Your form is textbook perfect, and those groups are tighter than most soldiers achieve after months of practice. Where did you train before coming here?" Sarah lowered her rifle and engaged the safety. "Various bases during basic and advanced training, Corporal Thompson. I've always enjoyed marksmanship practice." "It shows," Marcus replied, making notes on his clipboard. "With accuracy like that, you might want to consider specialized training programs. Long-range precision shooting requires a different skill set, but you clearly have the foundation for it." Around them, other soldiers paused their own practice to observe the conversation. Word spread quickly in military units when someone demonstrated exceptional ability, and Sarah's shooting had clearly caught attention. She felt the weight of additional scrutiny, but maintained her focus on the training objectives. The morning continued with various shooting exercises designed to test different aspects of marksmanship ability. Sarah consistently performed at the top of the group, earning quiet acknowledgement from instructors and curious glances from fellow soldiers. Her reputation was beginning to form based on observable skills rather than assumptions or prejudices. During the lunch break, several soldiers approached Sarah to discuss techniques and compare experiences. The conversations were friendly, but probing as veterans tested the newcomers' knowledge and attitudes. Sarah answered questions honestly while avoiding any mention of her specialized training or certifications. "You shoot like someone who's had professional instruction," observed Sergeant Mills, a sniper from another squad. "Most soldiers develop bad habits during training that take months to correct. Your technique looks like it came straight from a manual." Sarah smiled modestly. "Good instructors make all the difference. I was fortunate to work with some excellent teachers during my training pipeline." Mills nodded thoughtfully. "If you're interested in advanced marksmanship, you should talk to Marcus about the unit's long-range program. We're always looking for soldiers with the right combination of skills and temperament for precision work." The afternoon brought tactical movement exercises that simulated real-world scenarios. Squads maneuvered through mock villages while engaging targets at various ranges and elevations. Sarah adapted quickly to her team's communication style and movement patterns, demonstrating the kind of tactical awareness that came from quality training and natural instincts. Marcus observed the exercises from elevated positions, using radio communications to adjust scenarios and provide feedback. Sarah noticed how he created realistic pressure situations that forced soldiers to make quick decisions while maintaining accuracy and safety protocols. His approach revealed a deep understanding of how skills transferred from training environments to actual combat situations. As evening approached and the day's training concluded, Sarah reflected on her first full day with the unit. She had performed well enough to earn respect without revealing the full extent of her capabilities. The balance was delicate. She needed to demonstrate competence while avoiding questions about her background that might lead to uncomfortable explanations. Back in the barracks, she carefully cleaned and maintained her assigned weapon, a ritual that connected her to countless soldiers throughout history who had depended on their equipment for survival. The familiar motions of disassembly, cleaning, and reassembly provided a meditative quality that helped her process the day's experiences and plan for challenges ahead. Her bunkmates returned from various duties throughout the evening, each bringing stories and perspectives that helped Sarah understand the unit's culture and expectations. They were clearly a close-knit group that had been shaped by shared experiences and mutual dependence. Earning acceptance into such a brotherhood would require time, consistency, and probably a few tests that hadn't yet presented themselves. As lights out approached, and the barracks settled into the quiet rhythms of military sleeping quarters, Sarah lay on her narrow bunk and stared at the ceiling. Tomorrow would bring new challenges and opportunities to prove herself worthy of the trust that combat units required. She thought about her grandfather's stories of patience and precision, drawing strength from his example as she prepared for whatever tests awaited her in this harsh and unforgiving environment. The hidden sniper badge in her duffel bag seemed to pulse with potential energy, waiting for the right moment to reveal its significance. Sarah knew that moment would come eventually, but for now, she was content to let others form their opinions based on limited information. Sometimes the most powerful revelations were those that arrived unexpectedly, challenging assumptions and forcing people to reconsider everything they thought they knew. 2 weeks into her deployment, Sarah had settled into the rhythm of daily operations at Camp Phoenix. Her mornings began with physical training that pushed every soldier to their limits, followed by weapons maintenance that bordered on the obsessive. The desert environment demanded constant attention to equipment, as sand and dust could disable the most sophisticated weapons if proper care wasn't maintained. Her squad had accepted her presence with the cautious approval that military units reserved for new members who proved their competence without causing unnecessary drama. Corporal Martinez, their squad leader, was a methodical soldier who valued reliability over flashiness, and Sarah's consistent performance had earned his grudging respect. Chin solid, Martinez told Staff Sergeant Williams during one of their weekly evaluations. She follows orders without question, maintains her equipment properly, and shoots better than half the unit. No complaints from the team about her integration. Williams nodded, making notes in Sarah's file. Good to hear. Her paperwork indicated strong potential, but paperwork doesn't always translate to field performance. How does she handle stress situations? Haven't had a chance to test that fully yet, Martinez admitted. But her demeanor during training exercises suggests she keeps her head under pressure. No panic, no hesitation, just methodical execution of whatever task she's given. The conversation took place in the command tent, while Sarah participated in an advanced marksmanship clinic that Marcus had organized for soldiers showing exceptional shooting ability. The clinic focused on long-range techniques that went far beyond standard military training, incorporating elements of ballistics, weather reading, and target psychology that separated good shooters from true marksmen. Marcus had invited 8 soldiers to participate, each selected based on their performance during previous exercises. Sarah found herself among veterans with years of combat experience, soldiers who had earned their reputations through successful missions and proven reliability under fire. Being included in such company was both an honor and a challenge. The clinic began with theoretical instruction about external ballistics, the science of how bullets behaved once they left the rifle barrel. Marcus explained how factors like wind speed, air density, and temperature affected projectile trajectory over long distances, turning marksmanship into a complex calculation that required both mathematical understanding and intuitive feel for environmental conditions. At 800 meters, a 10-mile-per-hour crosswind will push a .308 round approximately 12 inches off target. Marcus explained, using a whiteboard to illustrate the concept. But wind rarely maintains constant speed or direction, so you're estimating based on multiple variables that change continuously. Sarah absorbed the information eagerly, though much of it confirmed knowledge she had gained during her specialized training. She asked thoughtful questions that demonstrated both understanding and genuine interest in the subject matter, earning approving nods from the other participants who appreciated intellectual curiosity about their craft. The practical portion of the clinic took place at the extended range facility, where targets had been placed at distances up to 1,000 meters. Each participant received a precision rifle system equipped with advanced optics and bipod supports that enabled the kind of accuracy required for long-range shooting. The weapons were significantly more sophisticated than standard military rifles, representing the cutting edge of sniper technology. Marcus demonstrated proper shooting positions, explaining how body mechanics affected accuracy over extended distances. Your natural point of aim is where the rifle wants to point when your body is completely relaxed, he said, settling into a prone position behind one of the rifles. Fighting against your natural alignment creates tension that degrades accuracy, especially during long shots where tiny movements become magnified. Sarah watched his demonstration carefully, noting details that confirmed her own training while revealing subtle variations in technique that came from practical experience. When her turn came to shoot, she applied the same methodical approach that had characterized her performance since arriving at the base. Her first shot at the 800-meter target struck within 2 inches of center, a result that drew surprised murmurs from the other participants. Long-range shooting typically required multiple shots to establish proper sight adjustments and environmental corrections, making first-round accuracy extremely rare even among experienced marksmen. Exceptional shot, Marcus commented, studying the target through powerful spotting scope. Wind conditions are tricky today, with thermals creating irregular patterns across the range. How did you read the environment for that shot? Sarah considered her response carefully, drawing on her training while avoiding any mention of specialized instruction. I observed the mirage patterns near the target and watched how the grass moved at different distances. The wind seemed lighter in the middle section of the range, so I held slightly less than what the flags indicated. Marcus nodded approvingly. Excellent environmental reading. That's exactly the kind of analysis that separates good shots from lucky ones. Most soldiers focus only on the target area and miss the atmospheric conditions that affect bullet flight. The clinic continued with increasingly challenging scenarios designed to test both technical skills and mental composure. Sarah consistently performed at the top level, earning recognition from instructors and respect from fellow participants who understood the difficulty of the tasks they were completing. During a break between exercises, Sergeant Mills approached Sarah with obvious curiosity about her background. "You shoot like someone who's had professional long-range instruction," he said directly. "Your technique is too refined for someone who learned marksmanship through standard military training. Where did you pick up those skills?" The question hung in the air as other soldiers paused their conversations to listen. Sarah realized that her performance was generating the kind of attention she had hoped to avoid, at least until she felt more secure in her position within the unit. Revealing too much too soon could create complications that might affect her integration with the team. "I had some excellent instructors during advanced training," she replied carefully. "Some of them had specialized backgrounds and shared techniques that went beyond the basic curriculum. I've always been interested in marksmanship, so I paid close attention to their instruction." Mills accepted the explanation, though his expression suggested he wasn't entirely satisfied with its vagueness. "Well, whatever your background, you've definitely got the skills for precision work. If you're interested in pursuing specialized training, I could put you in contact with people who run advanced programs." The conversation represented both opportunity and risk for Sarah. Pursuing official specialized training would provide legitimacy for her skills, while potentially exposing the fact that she already possessed qualifications that exceeded the unit's requirements. She decided to express interest while avoiding any commitment that might force premature revelations. That evening, Sarah joined several squad members for dinner at the base's recreational facility, a converted shipping container that had been equipped with televisions, gaming equipment, and comfortable seating. The informal environment encouraged relaxed conversation that revealed more about the soldiers' personalities and backgrounds than formal military interactions typically allowed. Marcus was among the group, sharing stories from previous deployments that illustrated both the technical challenges and human costs of long-range precision work. His accounts were matter-of-fact rather than dramatic, focusing on decision-making processes and tactical considerations rather than glorifying violence or emphasizing personal achievements. "The hardest part isn't making the shot," he explained during one story about a particularly difficult mission. "It's being absolutely certain that you're engaging the right target under the right circumstances. Once you pull that trigger, there's no taking it back, so you better be sure about everything that led to that moment." Sarah listened intently, recognizing the ethical complexity that came with precision shooting in combat environments. Her own training had emphasized similar principles, teaching her that technical proficiency meant nothing without moral clarity about when and how to apply lethal skills. The conversation shifted to equipment preferences, with each soldier sharing opinions about different rifle systems, optics, and ammunition types. Sarah contributed thoughtfully to the discussion, demonstrating knowledge that impressed the group without revealing information that might raise uncomfortable questions about her training background. "You really know your equipment," observed Corporal Davis, a veteran with 3 combat deployments. "Most soldiers can tell you what they like about their assigned weapon, but you understand the technical reasons why certain configurations work better in specific situations." Sarah smiled modestly. "I find the engineering interesting. Understanding how equipment works helps me use it more effectively, and it makes maintenance easier when things go wrong in the field." As the evening progressed, Sarah found herself increasingly accepted as a valuable member of the group. Her combination of technical knowledge, shooting ability, and professional demeanor had earned the kind of respect that military units reserve for soldiers they trusted with their lives. The process was gradual but unmistakable, marked by inclusion in conversations and consultation on matters requiring expertise. Later that night, alone in her bunk, Sarah reflected on the progress she had made during her first 2 weeks at the base. She had successfully established herself as a competent soldier without revealing the full extent of her qualifications, walking the careful line between demonstrating ability and maintaining the element of surprise that might prove valuable in future situations. The Advanced Marksmanship Clinic had provided an opportunity to display skills that justified her presence among the unit's elite shooters while avoiding questions about specialized training that could complicate her position. She had learned valuable lessons about the local environment and tactical approaches that would enhance her effectiveness in actual combat situations. Her hidden sniper badge remained safely concealed, waiting for the right moment to reveal its significance. Sarah understood that premature disclosure could undermine the careful foundation she was building within the unit. Trust in military organizations developed gradually, based on consistent performance rather than credentials or claims about past achievements. The next few weeks would bring additional challenges as her squad prepared for actual combat operations. Sarah looked forward to proving herself under real-world conditions, confident that her training and experience would enable her to contribute meaningfully to the unit's mission success while protecting the soldiers who had begun to accept her as one of their own. Outside the barracks, the desert night was filled with the sounds of military operations that never completely ceased. Helicopters transported personnel and supplies, vehicles moved through the compound on various missions, and radio communications crackled with updates from patrols and observation posts throughout the region. Sarah fell asleep to these familiar sounds, dreaming of challenges that would soon test everything she had learned about warfare, teamwork, and the delicate balance between revealing capability and maintaining strategic advantage. The mission briefing came at 0400 hours on a Tuesday morning when the base was still shrouded in pre-dawn darkness. Sarah joined her squad in the operations center, where intelligence officers had assembled detailed maps and satellite photographs that revealed their target, a compound nestled in the mountains 30 kilometers northeast of the base. Staff Sergeant Williams stood before a large screen displaying aerial reconnaissance images, while Colonel Peterson, the battalion commander, reviewed the tactical objectives. The target was a high-value individual suspected of coordinating attacks against coalition forces, intelligence that had been developed over several weeks of surveillance and electronic monitoring. The target compound sits on elevated terrain with excellent visibility in all directions, Williams explained, using a laser pointer to highlight key features. Our intelligence suggests between 8 and 12 hostile personnel, armed with small arms and possibly heavier weapons. The primary objective is capture, but if that's not feasible, elimination is authorized. Sarah studied the terrain carefully, noting the natural choke points and elevated positions that would influence tactical approaches. The compound's location provided significant defensive advantages while limiting options for assault forces, making precise reconnaissance and careful planning essential for mission success. Marcus raised his hand during the briefing. Staff Sergeant, what's the timeline for this operation? Are we dealing with a time-sensitive target, or do we have flexibility for extended surveillance? Intelligence indicates the target will be present for approximately 48 hours, Williams replied. After that, patterns suggest he moves to a different location for several weeks. This represents our best opportunity for the foreseeable future. The mission would involve a two-phase approach. Initial reconnaissance to confirm intelligence and identify defensive positions, followed by a coordinated assault designed to capture or eliminate the target while minimizing coalition casualties. Sarah's squad would provide overwatch and precision fire support during both phases, positioning themselves on ridge lines that commanded excellent visibility of the target area. Colonel Peterson took over the briefing to address rules of engagement and communication protocols. This operation requires absolute precision in target identification, he emphasized. We have reason to believe civilians may be present in the general area, so positive identification is mandatory before engaging any personnel. Sarah absorbed every detail of the briefing, mentally cataloging information that would influence her role during the mission. The terrain features, distances involved, and precision requirements were exactly the kind of challenges that her specialized training had prepared her to handle, though revealing that background remained inappropriate given her current position within the unit. Following the briefing, squad leaders met with their teams to discuss specific assignments and equipment requirements. Martinez gathered his soldiers around a detailed topographical map, using the opportunity to assign individual responsibilities based on each person's strengths and experience level. Chen, you'll be part of the Overwatch element with Thompson and Mills, Martinez announced. Your marksmanship scores indicate you can handle the precision requirements, and your performance during training exercises suggests you work well under pressure. The assignment represented both recognition of Sarah's capabilities and a significant test of her ability to perform in actual combat conditions. Working alongside Marcus and Sergeant Mills would provide excellent learning opportunities while placing her among the unit's most experienced and capable soldiers. Equipment preparation began immediately after the planning session, with each soldier carefully selecting and testing the gear that would accompany them in a hostile territory. Sarah drew a precision rifle system similar to the weapons used during the Advanced Marksmanship Clinic, along with optics, ammunition, and ancillary equipment designed for extended range engagements. Marcus approached her during the equipment preparation process, his expression serious but encouraging. "This will be your first actual combat mission with the unit," he said. "The skills you've demonstrated during training are excellent, but real-world conditions add stress factors that can affect even experienced soldiers. Stay focused on your fundamentals, trust your training, and don't hesitate to ask questions if anything seems unclear." Sarah appreciated his guidance, recognizing the genuine concern for her welfare that motivated his advice. "Thank you, Corporal Thompson. I understand the responsibility that comes with this assignment, and I won't let the team down." "I'm confident you won't," Marcus replied. "Your shooting ability is exceptional, and your tactical awareness during exercises has been impressive. Just remember that patience is often more important than speed in precision work." The remainder of the day was spent in final preparations, including detailed mission rehearsals that walked through every phase of the operation. Sarah participated actively in the planning process, contributing observations about terrain features and engagement angles that demonstrated her tactical understanding. As evening approached and the deployment timeline drew closer, Sarah found herself experiencing the familiar combination of anticipation and focused calm that preceded significant challenges. Her training had prepared her for exactly this type of mission, but the stakes were higher than any training scenario could simulate. The deployment began at 2200 hours with a helicopter insertion that placed the squad approximately 5 kilometers from their designated Overwatch position. The flight was conducted under blackout conditions, with pilots using night vision technology to navigate through mountainous terrain that left no margin for error. Sarah moved carefully through the darkness alongside her teammates, using night vision equipment to maintain formation while avoiding obstacles that could create noise or compromise their concealment. The squad moved with the practiced efficiency that came from extensive training and mutual trust, each soldier understanding his role in the complex choreography of military operations. The Overwatch position was a rocky outcrop that provided excellent visibility of the target compound, while offering natural concealment from enemy observation. Marcus and Mills worked together to establish a hide site that would enable them to remain undetected during the extended surveillance phase of the mission. Sarah assisted in preparing the position, drawing on knowledge from her specialized training while being careful not to demonstrate expertise that might raise questions about her background. The work required patience and attention to detail, as any visible disturbance could compromise the entire mission. Once the hide site was established, the team settled into a routine of continuous observation that would continue until the assault phase began. Sarah found herself assigned to the primary observation role, using powerful optics to monitor activity within the target compound while maintaining detailed logs of personnel movement and defensive preparations. The compound showed signs of recent occupation, with vehicles parked in concealed positions and personnel moving between buildings in patterns that suggested security consciousness. Sarah counted at least 10 individuals during her initial observation period, noting their equipment and apparent roles within the defensive structure. Activity consistent with intelligence estimates, she reported quietly to Marcus, who was monitoring radio communications with other elements of the operation. Multiple armed personnel, defensive positions established at key points, and what appears to be a command element located in the central building. Marcus nodded approvingly at her professional reporting style. Good observations. Keep tracking movement patterns and note any changes in activity levels. Intelligence wants to know if our target is actually present before we commit to the assault phase. The hours passed slowly as Sarah maintained her surveillance, recording detailed information about defensive positions and personnel rotations that would be crucial for the assault teams when they moved into position. Her training and observation techniques proved invaluable as she identified subtle patterns that less experienced soldiers might have missed. During the pre-dawn hours, Sarah observed increased activity within the compound that suggested preparation for some type of significant event. Additional personnel arrived by vehicle, and defensive positions were reinforced with crew-served weapons that significantly increased the threat level for any approaching forces. Possible high-value target arrival, Sarah reported, focusing her optics on a group of individuals who had emerged from the central building. 3 personnel, one matching physical description from intelligence briefings, surrounded by what appears to be a security detail. Marcus immediately relayed the information to higher command elements, who confirmed authorization to proceed with the assault phase based on positive target identification. The mission was transitioning from surveillance to active engagement, with Sarah's observation providing the intelligence necessary to initiate the next phase. As assault teams moved into their attack positions, Sarah prepared her precision rifle for potential long-range engagements that might be required to support the operation. The distance to the compound was approximately 800 meters, well within her capability, but requiring careful attention to environmental factors that could affect bullet trajectory. The assault began with coordinated suppression fire designed to neutralize defensive positions while assault teams maneuvered toward the compound. Sarah's role was to provide precision fire against specific targets that posed the greatest threat to advancing friendly forces, requiring split-second decisions about engagement priorities. Her first engagement came when a machine gun position opened fire on approaching assault teams from a fortified position that standard infantry weapons couldn't effectively suppress. Sarah identified the target through her scope, calculated the necessary adjustments for distance and wind conditions, and fired a single shot that eliminated the threat with precision that impressed even her experienced teammates. Outstanding shot, Marcus commented, observing the engagement through his own optics. Perfect placement under difficult conditions. That machine gun position was causing serious problems for the assault element. The firefight continued for approximately 20 minutes as assault teams systematically cleared the compound, while Overwatch elements provided supporting fire against emerging threats. Sarah engaged 3 additional targets during this period, each shot carefully planned and executed to maximize effectiveness while minimizing risk to friendly forces. When the compound was finally secured and the high-value target captured, Sarah felt a profound sense of accomplishment, mixed with relief that the mission had succeeded without coalition casualties. Her performance during the engagement had demonstrated capabilities that exceeded expectations while contributing meaningfully to the operation's success. During the extraction phase, as helicopters arrived to transport personnel and prisoners back to base, Marcus approached Sarah with obvious admiration for her performance. "You shot like a seasoned professional throughout that entire engagement," he said. "I've worked with soldiers who have years of combat experience, and few of them could have performed at your level under those conditions." Sarah accepted the praise gracefully while remaining modest about her contribution. "The team made it possible for me to do my job effectively. Good communication and coordination made all the difference in maintaining situational awareness throughout the engagement." The helicopter ride back to base provided an opportunity for reflection on the night's events and their significance for Sarah's position within the unit. She had proven herself under actual combat conditions, earning the respect and trust that could only come from shared danger and successful mission completion. Back at Camp Phoenix, the after-action review process began immediately as intelligence officers debriefed participants about tactical observations and lessons learned. Sarah's detailed surveillance reports and precision engagement records became part of the official mission documentation, providing evidence of her professionalism and capability that would influence future assignments. As dawn broke over the desert landscape and the adrenaline of combat gradually subsided, Sarah realized that she had crossed an important threshold in her military career. The hidden sniper badge in her duffel bag no longer seemed like a secret waiting to be revealed, but rather a credential that she had earned the right to display through demonstrated performance under fire. The success of the Mountain Compound operation created ripple effects throughout Camp Phoenix that extended far beyond the immediate tactical victory. Sarah's performance during the mission had been witnessed by some of the unit's most experienced soldiers, and word of her exceptional marksmanship spread through informal networks that carried more weight than official reports in determining a soldier's reputation. 3 days after the mission, Colonel Peterson requested a personal debrief with Sarah about her observations and recommendations for future operations. The meeting took place in his private office, a converted shipping container that had been modified with maps, communication equipment, and the accumulated memorabilia of a career spent in various conflict zones around the world. Private Chun, your performance during the recent operation was exceptional by any standard, Peterson began, reviewing the official after-action reports spread across his desk. 4 precision engagements, all successful, under challenging conditions that would test experienced marksmen. Your surveillance reports were detailed and accurate, providing crucial intelligence that enabled mission success. Sarah maintained military bearing while internally processing the significance of receiving personal recognition from the battalion commander. Such meetings were rare and indicated that her performance had attracted attention at the highest levels of command structure within the unit. Thank you, sir. I was fortunate to work with an experienced team that provided excellent support and communication throughout the mission, she replied, deflecting credit while acknowledging the collaborative nature of military operations. Peterson nodded approvingly at her response. Humility is admirable, but don't minimize your individual contribution. Sergeant Mills reported that your shot against the machine gun position was executed under extremely difficult conditions, with crosswinds and elevation changes that would challenge any marksman. That single engagement probably saved several lives among the assault element. The conversation continued with detailed discussion of tactical observations and lessons learned from the mission. Sarah provided thoughtful analysis of terrain factors, equipment performance, and communication procedures that demonstrated both technical knowledge and practical understanding of how small unit operations functioned in combat environments. Your insights suggest training and experience that goes beyond standard military instruction, Peterson observed. Your personnel file indicates excellent scores across all training categories, but your performance level suggests exposure to specialized instruction. Can you elaborate on your background? Sarah recognized this as a pivotal moment that would determine her future relationship with the unit leadership. Continued evasion about her training background would eventually become problematic, but premature revelation could create complications that might affect her integration with the team. I was fortunate to receive instruction from several veterans who had specialized backgrounds, she said carefully. They shared techniques and perspectives that went beyond the standard curriculum, and I've always been dedicated to developing my marksmanship skills through intensive practice. Peterson accepted the explanation while making notes that suggested follow-up inquiries would be forthcoming. Well, regardless of your training background, your demonstrated capabilities indicate potential for advanced responsibilities. I'm recommending you for the battalion's Precision Marksman program, which provides additional training and specialized equipment for soldiers who show exceptional aptitude. The recommendation represented both recognition and opportunity, though Sarah realized it would inevitably lead to more detailed scrutiny of her qualifications and background. The Precision Marksman program was highly selective, typically reserved for soldiers with extensive combat experience and proven reliability under extreme conditions. Following the meeting with Colonel Peterson, Sarah returned to her regular duties with a heightened awareness of the attention her performance was generating. Fellow soldiers who had previously viewed her as a competent newcomer now sought her opinions on tactical matters and equipment preferences, recognizing expertise that commanded genuine respect. Marcus approached her during the afternoon training period with news that would significantly impact her role within the unit. "I've been authorized to recommend you for advanced sniper training at the Regional Instruction Facility," he announced. "It's a 4-week program that covers everything from advanced ballistics to urban warfare techniques. Successful completion would qualify you for assignment to specialized teams that handle the most challenging missions." The irony of the situation was not lost on Sarah, who already possessed qualifications that exceeded the training being offered. However, accepting the recommendation would provide legitimacy for her skills while potentially revealing information about her background that could complicate her current position. "That sounds like an excellent opportunity," she replied, buying time to consider the implications. "What are the selection criteria for the program?" Marcus explained that candidates needed demonstrated marksmanship ability, proven performance under combat conditions, and recommendations from unit leadership. Sarah clearly met all requirements, but the selection process would involve detailed review of her training records and background that might expose her existing qualifications. That evening, Sarah faced a decision that would determine the course of her military career within a unit. She could continue maintaining secrecy about her specialized training while accepting opportunities that might eventually expose the truth anyway, or she could reveal her qualifications in a controlled manner that demonstrated trust in her new teammates. The choice became clearer when Sergeant Mills invited her to participate in a precision shooting competition that would determine the unit's representatives for a brigade-wide marksmanship contest. The event would showcase the best shooters from various units, providing recognition and potential career advancement for participants who performed exceptionally. "I'd like you to represent our squad in the precision rifle category," Mills explained during the invitation. "Your performance during the recent mission demonstrated capabilities that should be shared with a wider audience. This competition could open doors for specialized assignments that match your skill level." Sarah realized that participating in the competition would inevitably attract attention that could lead to questions about her training background. However, declining the opportunity would seem inappropriate given her demonstrated capabilities and might create suspicions about her motivations for avoiding recognition. The competition was scheduled for the following weekend, providing several days for preparation and final decisions about how much of her background to reveal. Sarah spent those days carefully considering her options while continuing to perform her regular duties at the exceptional level that had become her trademark. During equipment preparation for the competition, Sarah discovered that participants would be allowed to use their personal equipment in addition to issued weapons, provided it met specific safety and standardization requirements. This created an opportunity that she had not previously considered, as her personal gear included items that reflected her specialized training background. The night before the competition, Sarah made her decision. She retrieved her hidden sniper badge from its concealed location in her duffel bag and placed it in her uniform pocket, along with certificates and documentation that proved her completion of advanced training programs. The time for secrecy had passed, and she would reveal her background in a manner that demonstrated trust in her teammates. The competition venue was an elaborate range complex that had been established specifically for precision shooting events. Targets were placed at distances ranging from 300 to 1,200 meters, with environmental conditions that challenged even the most experienced marksmen. Participants included soldiers from throughout the brigade, many with years of combat experience, and numerous decorations for marksmanship excellence. Sarah's squad members were present to provide support and observe the competition, creating additional pressure to perform well while representing their unit's reputation. The event format included multiple stages that tested different aspects of precision shooting, from rapid engagement of multiple targets to extreme range accuracy under time constraints. As the competition began and participants demonstrated their skills across various challenges, Sarah consistently performed at the highest levels while drawing increasingly surprised attention from observers who were unfamiliar with her background. Her technique was flawless, her equipment handling professional, and her mental composure unshakable under competitive pressure. Marcus observed her performance with growing amazement at the consistency and precision she maintained throughout each stage of the competition. "She's shooting like someone who's been doing this professionally for years," he commented to Mills during one of the breaks between events. "Her technique is too refined for someone with limited training," Mills replied, studying Sarah through binoculars as she engaged targets at extreme range. "Look at her position, her breathing control, her follow-through. That's the result of extensive professional instruction, not casual practice sessions." The final stage of the competition required participants to engage targets at 1,000 meters under challenging wind conditions that made accurate shooting extremely difficult. Sarah studied the environmental factors carefully, making calculations that drew on her advanced training while maintaining the methodical approach that characterized her best performance. Her first shot struck within inches of target center, an achievement that caused audible reactions from observers who understood the difficulty of such accuracy under existing conditions. Subsequent shots maintained the same level of precision, creating a grouping that would have been impressive at any distance, but was extraordinary given the range and environmental challenges involved. When the competition concluded and scores were tallied, Sarah had achieved first place in the precision rifle category by a margin that surprised even experienced competitors. Her performance had demonstrated capabilities that clearly exceeded standard military training while raising inevitable questions about her background and experience. During the awards ceremony that followed the competition, Colonel Peterson presented Sarah with her trophy while addressing the assembled participants about the importance of marksmanship excellence in modern military operations. The recognition was both professional acknowledgement and implicit authorization for Sarah to pursue advanced opportunities that matched her demonstrated capabilities. Following the ceremony, Marcus approached Sarah with obvious curiosity about her background and training. "Your performance today was extraordinary," he said directly. "I've worked with professional snipers who couldn't maintain that level of accuracy under similar conditions. It's time for an honest conversation about your qualifications and experience." Sarah recognized that the moment had arrived to reveal the truth about her background. She reached into her uniform pocket and withdrew the sniper badge that she had kept hidden since arriving at the base, along with the documentation that proved her completion of advanced training programs that exceeded anything available within the current unit. "I earned this qualification before being assigned to your unit," she said quietly, holding the badge so Marcus could examine it closely. "I kept it private because I wanted to earn acceptance based on demonstrated performance rather than credentials or assumptions about my capabilities." Marcus studied the badge and accompanying documentation with growing amazement at the level of training Sarah had completed. The programs listed represented the highest levels of military marksmanship instruction, typically reserved for soldiers selected for special operations or specialized reconnaissance missions. "This explains everything," he said finally, returning the documentation with obvious respect. "Your technique, your equipment knowledge, your tactical awareness during missions. You've been operating well below your actual capability level since arriving here." The revelation created a turning point in Sarah's relationship with the unit that would influence every aspect of her future service. Her decision to reveal her qualifications in a manner that demonstrated trust and humility had earned the kind of respect that could not be achieved through any other means. The revelation of Sarah's sniper qualification created immediate changes in how the unit leadership viewed her capabilities and potential contributions to future operations. Colonel Peterson called an emergency meeting with senior staff to discuss reassignment options that would better utilize her specialized skills, while maintaining the team cohesion that had been carefully developed during her integration period. "We have a qualified sniper who's been operating as a standard rifleman for over a month," Peterson announced to the assembled officers. "Her performance record indicates exceptional capability, and her approach to revealing these qualifications demonstrates exactly the kind of judgment we want in specialized positions." The meeting resulted in Sarah being assigned to a new role that combined her precision shooting expertise with continued participation in squad-level operations. This hybrid approach would allow her to contribute specialized capabilities while maintaining the relationships and tactical familiarity she had developed with her current teammates. Marcus was designated as her primary coordinator for precision shooting assignments, a role that would require close collaboration on mission planning and equipment selection. The partnership represented recognition of both soldiers' expertise, while creating opportunities for knowledge sharing that would benefit the entire unit. 2 days after Sarah's revelation, a shipment of specialized equipment arrived at Camp Phoenix that included several Barrett .50 caliber rifles designed for extreme-range precision shooting. The weapons represented the pinnacle of military marksmanship technology, capable of engaging targets at distances exceeding 1,500 meters with devastating accuracy when properly employed. Staff Sergeant Williams organized a familiarization session for soldiers who might be selected to employ the new weapons, emphasizing the additional training requirements and tactical considerations that came with such powerful equipment. The Barrett rifles were significantly larger and heavier than standard precision weapons, requiring different techniques and support equipment for effective employment. These weapons extend our engagement capability well beyond anything we've previously had available, Williams explained during the briefing. However, they also require extensive training to use effectively and present logistical challenges that must be carefully managed during operations. Sarah attended the briefing along with other soldiers who had demonstrated exceptional marksmanship ability, though her newly revealed qualifications made her an obvious candidate for advanced training on the Barrett system. The weapon specifications and employment techniques aligned perfectly with her specialized education and practical experience. Following the briefing, Marcus approached Sarah with a suggestion that would become the pivotal moment in their professional relationship. "These Barrett rifles require someone with advanced training to maximize their effectiveness," he said, gesturing toward the weapons that were being prepared for initial testing. "I think you should be the primary operator for our unit, given your background and demonstrated capabilities." The suggestion represented both recognition and responsibility, as assignment to the Barrett system would make Sarah the unit's primary long-range precision asset for missions requiring extreme-range engagements. The role carried significant tactical importance, while placing her in a position that fully utilized her specialized qualifications. "I'd be honored to take on that responsibility," Sarah replied, recognizing the trust that Marcus was placing in her abilities. "I have experience with similar weapons systems and understand the tactical applications for extreme-range precision shooting." The conversation was interrupted by the arrival of several soldiers who had heard about the new Barrett rifles and wanted to examine the weapons firsthand. Among them was Corporal Henderson, a veteran marksman who had been hoping to be selected for advanced training on the system. Henderson's expression revealed obvious disappointment when he overheard Marcus's suggestion about Sarah's assignment to the Barrett rifle. "With respect, Corporal Thompson, shouldn't weapon assignments be based on seniority and proven experience in theater?" he asked, his tone suggesting disagreement with the decision. The question created an uncomfortable moment that highlighted underlying tensions about Sarah's rapid advancement within a unit's hierarchy. Henderson was a respected soldier with extensive combat experience, and his concerns reflected broader questions about how specialized assignments should be determined. Marcus recognized the delicate nature of the situation and the importance of addressing Henderson's concerns while supporting Sarah's qualifications. "The Barrett system requires specific training and expertise that not all marksmen possess," he replied diplomatically. Assignment decisions will be based on capability and mission requirements rather than seniority alone. Sarah realized that this moment would define her future relationships within the unit and her ability to effectively employ her specialized skills in support of mission objectives. She needed to demonstrate her qualifications in a manner that earned Henderson's respect while avoiding any appearance of arrogance or dismissiveness toward his experience. "Corporal Henderson, your concern is completely understandable," Sarah said, addressing him directly. "The Barrett system is different enough from standard precision rifles that previous experience doesn't necessarily predict success with the platform. Would you be interested in participating in a familiarization session where we can both evaluate the weapons and share perspectives on their employment?" The suggestion diffused the immediate tension while creating an opportunity for collaborative learning that could benefit both soldiers and the unit overall. Henderson's expression softened as he recognized Sarah's professional approach to addressing his concerns. "That sounds like a reasonable approach," Henderson agreed. "I'd definitely like to understand the capabilities and limitations of the system, regardless of who gets assigned as the primary operator." Marcus approved the plan and arranged for a comprehensive evaluation session that would allow multiple soldiers to gain familiarity with the Barrett rifles while determining the best employment strategies for the unit's tactical requirements. The session would be conducted at the extended range facility under conditions that simulated actual operational environments. The evaluation session began the following morning with detailed instruction about the Barrett rifle's technical specifications and operational characteristics. Sarah participated as both student and informal instructor, drawing on her specialized training while being careful to share knowledge in a manner that enhanced rather than overshadowed the official instruction. The first phase involved basic familiarization with the weapon's controls, safety procedures, and maintenance requirements. The Barrett rifles were significantly more complex than standard military weapons, requiring careful attention to detail during assembly, operation, and maintenance procedures. Sarah's handling of the weapon immediately revealed her extensive experience with similar systems, as she efficiently completed assembly procedures and demonstrated proper shooting positions without reference to technical manuals or instructor guidance. Her competence was obvious to everyone present, but displayed in a manner that emphasized teaching rather than showing off. "Excellent technique," commented the instructor, observing Sarah's preparation for the first live-fire exercise. "Your position and weapon handling suggest considerable experience with heavy precision rifles. Where did you develop those skills?" "Advanced training programs that covered various weapon systems," Sarah replied, maintaining the same level of discretion about specifics while being honest about her background. "I've been fortunate to work with some excellent instructors who emphasize proper fundamentals." The live-fire portion of the evaluation began with targets placed at 800 meters, a distance that represented the lower end of the Barrett rifle's effective range, but provided a baseline for assessing shooter capability and weapon performance. Each participant fired multiple shots to establish zero settings and become familiar with the weapon's recoil characteristics. Sarah's first shot struck within 2 inches of target center, an achievement that drew surprised murmurs from observers who understood the difficulty of achieving such accuracy with an unfamiliar weapon system. Her subsequent shots maintained similar precision, creating a grouping that would have been impressive with any rifle, but was extraordinary for someone supposedly unfamiliar with the Barrett platform. Henderson watched Sarah's performance with growing amazement at her consistency and apparent comfort with the powerful rifle. "She's shooting like someone who's been using Barrett rifles for years," he commented to another soldier. "Look at how she manages the recoil and follows through with each shot." The evaluation continued with progressively more challenging scenarios designed to test both technical skills and tactical understanding of extreme range shooting principles. Sarah consistently performed at the highest level while providing helpful observations about environmental factors and engagement techniques that benefited other participants. When targets were moved to 1,200 meters for the final phase of evaluation, Sarah's performance became even more impressive as she consistently achieved hits that required precise calculation of ballistic factors and environmental conditions. Her shooting demonstrated mastery of principles that typically required months of specialized training to develop. Marcus observed the entire session with growing appreciation for Sarah's capabilities and the professional manner in which she shared knowledge with fellow soldiers. Her approach had transformed what could have been a competitive situation into a collaborative learning experience that enhanced everyone's understanding of extreme-range precision shooting. Following the evaluation session, Marcus made the formal recommendation that Sarah be assigned as the unit's primary Barrett rifle operator, with Henderson designated as the backup operator who would maintain proficiency with the system. The arrangement recognized both soldiers' capabilities while establishing clear responsibilities for mission planning and execution. Your performance today confirmed what I suspected based on your previous shooting, Marcus told Sarah privately after the evaluation concluded. You have the skills and knowledge necessary to employ the Barrett system at its maximum potential, and your teaching ability will help develop other soldiers' capabilities as backup operators. The assignment marked the completion of Sarah's transformation from unknown newcomer to recognized specialist within the unit's operational structure. Her patient approach to revealing her qualifications had earned the trust and respect that enabled her to contribute effectively without creating resentment or division among her teammates. Henderson approached Sarah as they cleaned equipment following the evaluation session, his expression reflecting genuine respect for her performance and appreciation for her inclusive approach to the training. I have to admit, I was skeptical about your assignment to the Barrett rifle, he said honestly. But after watching you shoot today and seeing how you shared knowledge with everyone, I understand why you were selected. Sarah accepted his acknowledgement gracefully while emphasizing the collaborative nature of military operations. Everyone brings different strengths and experiences to the team, she replied. My background happens to align with the Barrett system, but I'll need your experience and tactical knowledge to employ it effectively in actual operations. The conversation represented the final resolution of tensions that could have undermined unit cohesion if handled less skillfully. Sarah's combination of demonstrated competence and professional humility had earned acceptance from soldiers who might otherwise have resented her rapid advancement within the unit's hierarchy. That evening, as Sarah cleaned and prepared her newly assigned Barrett rifle for future operations, she reflected on the journey that had brought her from concealed newcomer to recognized specialist within the space of several weeks. The process had required careful balance between demonstrating capability and maintaining the humility that enabled effective teamwork. Her decision to reveal her sniper qualifications had proven wise, creating opportunities to contribute specialized skills while building the trust and respect that made such contributions effective. The hidden badge that had once represented secret knowledge now served as legitimate recognition of capabilities that enhanced the unit's operational effectiveness. Outside the armory, the sounds of evening operations continued as helicopters transported personnel and equipment while radio communications coordinated activities throughout the region. Sarah knew that future missions would test her abilities with the Barrett rifle under actual combat conditions, challenges that would require everything she had learned about precision shooting, tactical thinking, and military leadership. The Barrett .50 caliber rifle that Marcus had entrusted to her care represented both opportunity and responsibility, a weapon system that could influence the outcome of critical operations when employed by someone with the necessary skills and judgment. Sarah was ready for that responsibility, confident that her training and experience would enable her to contribute meaningfully to mission success while maintaining the standards of excellence that the unit demanded from all its members.